Once a devotee asked Bhagwan Sri Ramana Maharishi, how is work to be done by an aspirant? Bhagwan said, without identification as the actor. For instance, while in Paris, you did not intend visiting this place. You see how you are acting without your own intention to do so. Chapter 3, verse 4 of the Bhagavad Gita says that a man cannot remain without acting. The purpose of one's birth will be fulfilled by itself. Gradually, concentration will become pleasant and easy, and you will be in that state whether attending to business or whether you sit expressly for meditation. Business will be all the more easier for you when your mind is steadied and strengthened by concentration. Devotee asked, I have no interest in business, fearing my yoga practice will be marred. Bhagwan said, no, your viewpoint will change, as said in the Gita, chapter 2. You will regard business in the light of a mere dream, but that will not affect it, for you will go on attending to it as it were serious. Devotee asked, the difficulty is to be in the thoughtless state and attend to duties. Bhagwan said, let the thoughtless state be of itself. Do not think of it as pertaining to yourself. Just as when you walk, you take steps involuntarily, do so in your other actions. You now want to go elsewhere, and from there you will desire to go to some other place. At this rate, there could be no end to your travels. You do not realize that it is your mind that drives you in this manner. Control that first, and you will be happy wherever you are. It is my impression that Swami Vivekananda has somewhere narrated the story of a man trying to bury his shadow and finding that over every sod of earth he had put in the grave dug for burying his shadow, the later still appeared over the new earth, the shadow could never be buried. Similarly is the case of one trying to bury his thoughts. One must therefore attempt to get at the very bottom from which thought springs and root out thought, mind, and desires. Devotee asked, the quest for self is selfish. In a world of misery, selfless work is better. Bhagwan said, the sea is not aware of its wave. Similarly, the self is not aware of its ego. While the Maharishi was going down the hill, some sweepers were at their work. One of them stopped work and was about to prostrate before Maharishi. The latter said, to engage in your duty is the true namaskar. To perform one's duty carefully is the greatest service to God. There has been evil and sorrow since the beginning of creation. You ask why the rishis do not put matters right. The Vedas tell the asuras, demons, who existed since earliest times. There is a force of opposition in the world which produces strife and suffering, but it works to make man grow and evolve. It is a force in nature which coexists along with the good. Devotee asked how to correlate spiritual and worldly life. Bhagwan said there is only one experience. What are worldly experiences but those built up on the false I? To one who said the Bhagavad Gita preached Karma Yoga, the Maharishi replied, no, because it taught that one should act with selfless motive. This could only be achieved after knowing the illusoriness of self, that is jnana. Hence, it really taught Jnana Yoga, which Maharishi said is the highest. He said that Gita taught man should act by letting the universal act through him. Hari Om Tat Sat.